We are talking about EdTech startup Byju's, which remember caters to the segment between 4th standard to 12th standard. They are rapidly planning to expand that with more programs, with more classes, with more formats, and they are also planning a foray into regional languages. Remember, Byju's is backed by some of the biggest investors. It includes the likes of Chan Zuckerberg Foundation, Sofina, Sequoia, as well as Mohandas Pai. Now, Rahul Daima caught up with Byju's founder, Byju Raveendran, to really find out the roadmap going forward. Let's listen in.
The Parent Connect app is in fact to change the perception which today parents have. They actually play, I think, more of, I don't think they play that role where they need to appreciate students a lot more than what they are doing today. So the Parent Connect app is built keeping this in mind, where rather than playing a monitoring role, they play a proactive cheerleader role, motivating students, appreciating them a lot more than what they are doing in our current system. Because today when that annual progress report is coming, that's the time where they do get some report, but it's actually adding a lot more pressure on the students. So we are kind of creating a continuous motivational system where parents can send them badges, parents can appreciate when they are spending time, when they are learning on the app. So it's to change the perception which there in the system, where the initiative finally it should be with students. They have to take the initiative in learning, where parents play a supporting role and not necessarily a monitoring role.
Got it. Interesting. Also, in terms of the user traction that you've seen on Byju's, you have a free and a premium sort of a subscription model. So have things really looked up in terms of are a lot of in terms of conversion rates of students who are moving to the paid app really?
Yeah, so students who are getting onto that continuous learning platform, so that's been continuously moving up. Initially when we started, it was an early 4-5%. It's moved up to close to 6% now. With more awareness and more students talking about it, there's a lot more downloads happening through word of mouth, and that's helping us to have better conversion.
And in terms of conversion rates, can you give us a sense of
you just look at the total number of downloads of slightly more than 8 million and an unpaid user base of 400,000. So that blended conversion historically, if you see till now, it's already at 5%.
All right. You have been describing Byju's as sort of a great traction as far as an EdTech space is concerned, but for you to look beyond India, and in India itself with so many languages, is it a natural extension for you to look at other regional languages, because for you to tweak the model to incorporate a larger user base? Is that on your mind? Because English, while might be a good monetizing sort of a value add, but what happens to the other regional languages?
So we just started building content in other languages, so that it can reach out to lot more millions of students and those who are in need of this as much as those who are in English medium schools. So the focus wise, there is a strong focus on creating products in other languages, so that we can have lot more users getting benefit from this app.
Right.
And where most of these investments are anyway common, whether it's in some tech, media, the library, you only need to change a very small percentage in the final format to make sure that there can be more users getting the benefit from this.
All right. In terms of expanding your business, would it be a regional push, regional languages from English, or can international expansion plans wait, or will they really go on simultaneously? Because internationally, the Middle East countries, South Asian countries will be a big market. Will you also look at developed markets really?
So from an international market point, we already have close to 20% of our users coming from outside India. Early adopters are obviously Indian students or those who are settled there. Now, a pure international product created in a neutral English version is something which we are building now, and that will help us to scale this up further. These are actually two functions. So business development team, those in India, they will be focused on creating more awareness and going deeper. We'll add more languages, not necessarily from a monetization point of view, but also from an impact point of view. But international, where the subscription as a concept is very popular, we have not yet figured out which market to focus in terms of branding marketing, but while creating the product, we're making sure that this can be easily localized and where multiple curriculums can be taken care of.
All right. So will this international push largely be through your organic product? You're saying you sort of tweak the model, ensure it's compatible, or will acquisitions also play a significant role? Of course, there have been a lot of talks about Tutor Vista because that would sort of give you a big foray into the US market. Is that also really on the cards?
We are actually looking at some product acquisitions in the lower grade, which will help us to get a head start while building that product, which will also help us in India because today we don't have products for the K to 3 segment. So there we have shortlisted few companies and the discussions are at early stage, so I cannot name those companies, which are mainly focused on acquiring some companies which will give us a base product, and on top of which we'll build and add our strength on, and before we taking